This is Brews with the homies here. It's Brews with Dbro, Heron Brews, and Brews with JB. On this episode, we got 2 bottles that Heron picked up. And I'm going to let Heron kind of talk about how he got the bottles, where he got the bottles, and then JB is going to introduce both bottles.
Okay. All right. So, we got the first one, Vendage, over at Pure Project Vista. So one of them came with a seller syndicate membership that we have. And then I liked it so much because they had it on tap there. I had a little taste because the bartenders were awesome down there. And I bought like 3 more bottles, or however many bottles they had down there. I wiped them out. I kind of felt bad, but I'm from out of town, so I wanted to bring them home and share them with the beautiful folks out here.
Share them with the boys, boys and girls.
Yeah, so at Solaris, I just went ahead and picked up 1 bottle of everything that they had at that point in time. And this was about a month ago. So this is this is Duvin Grenache Blanc in 2022. And I guess, I don't know, it's got different, both of these are kind of like beer wine hybrid things. And you guys let me know what is going on in each of them.
So before we continue any further, Heron's going to do a magical job and edit this part where you're going to watch Joseph open the bottle and spray us and have a F1 celebration after he won the race.
Yeah,
and you're just going to watch just pure madness.
Oh my God!
See, we should have checked on tap first on that Solaris bottle because Jeff posted that beware, this one was a gusher, and he was not wrong. It was gushing. So let's start off with the Pure Project Vendage, meaning the harvest in French. This one blurs the lines between beer and wine. It's crafted from a blend of 2 distinct beers, an Imperial Red that was aged in red wine barrels, and a Saison wort that was spontaneously fermented with Nebbiolo grapes. And so this one is just like Heron was saying, kind of that wine beer hybrid in the making.
It definitely smells like a wine, like a red wine. That's what it smells like.
And it's in collaboration with Oddish Wine. So this one checks in at 11.8%.
That's a strong boy.
And let's go ahead and try this one, then we'll get into the Solaris one next. Cheers, boys.
Before we say anything, we gotta have 3 drinks of this one, because what they say is the first one you can't really judge, the second one you kind of, but the third one you'll tell if you really like it or not. Since this is classified as a beer wine, and that's what they say with the wines.
Yeah,
you gotta try it 3 sips.
Yeah, it's like a untapped wild ale American. I think it's more of that beer hybrid wine with. Like the Solaris episode we did a couple weeks, almost a month or so back. That one was really good. Yeah. So it's kind of on a similar train to that. The color on it's beautiful. It's a deep, dark red. And like Dbro was saying, kind of a wine.
To be quite honest with you, to me this tastes more like a wine than it does an ale.
So the first sip, I got dryness immediately. Second sip, I got some sweetness in there. And then the third one, I got a little bit of spice. You know how those red wines have a little bit of kind of like, I don't know, peppery spice thing going on with them? So that's what I got. And then, of course, it's in a lighter body. Even though it's like 11 point something %, this is still like a medium to light body kind of thing. And I don't know, it's got a little, just the slightest bit of carbonation. Yeah. Nothing too crazy, which I absolutely love. For this style, you don't want it to be highly carbonated. You want it to be somewhat carbonated like a beer, and then somewhat still like a wine. So I think they've mastered that perfectly.
Yeah, it kind of adds to that Saison kind ofness to it, with a little bit of carbonation, a little bit of funk, but then I'm getting a lot of the dryness of the wine characteristic, a little bit of sweet, a little bit of spice in there, and it kind of makes it full tasting, right? You get everything going on, and I really enjoy stuff like this, right? This is where we always joke, let's get funky, let's try different styles, let's keep it fresh and experiment with all types of beer. And this one is one I would definitely recommend. Ever get the chance to try, or you want to try new beer and get outside your comfort zone, the Seller Syndicate at Pure Project is a great opportunity. and this one is definitely worth it. And we even had on last episode the peach brandy stout from Pure Project, part of the Cellar Syndicate. Absolutely fantastic. This one's another one that was knocked out of the park. I love it all across the board.
I agree. I would really like to pair this though with some red meat. I think it would be a delicious thing to have with some steak or some like just like have over like a steak dinner, I guess. I think the flavors, like Heron was saying, like each time I drink it, I feel like I get a little bit like of a different flavor. It definitely does give you like that spice of a red wine at the end of it, which I really enjoy. The dryness, I think it's not like super dry. I think it's that perfect like dryness level. And like I hate to say it, but I think July should be changed to instead of the 7th month, it should be changed to a 5 because I think this is another 5 out of the park. Pure Project, the Cellar Syndicate membership, you guys are just fucking killing it with it so far. I've really enjoyed it. I can't talk much good about it because
bad about it.
Bad about it. Sorry, there's not much bad I can say about it. I just really enjoy this. Yeah. If I had a whole bottle of this, I think I'd get myself in a lot of trouble, especially it being at a 11%. Yeah, almost 12. Yeah, I think you can get yourself in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, something like this. The dryness aspect we're talking about, it's still approachable though. It's like just dry enough to where you want to keep drinking it. Yeah. And it's not like too dry where you kind of get annoyed by it, or it's like, oh my god, it kind of gets overbearing. This one's like, oh, it's dry enough to, oh, I want another sip. Oh, I want to keep getting more tasty.
Yeah. If I had this straight out of the bottle, I think I would just like lose my shit.
Heron, what would you rate it? Because I'm going to give it, I've been kind of picky lately. The Untapped rating out of 113 people is 3.95, which I think is highly, goes to show you. Some people just probably, one, don't appreciate the style, or two, are basing it off of like beer ratings or not comparing it to like style wise or appreciating what's going on. So, you know what? I'm going to bump that rating up. I'm going to give it a 5 because I appreciate when breweries do stuff like this, right? Yeah. They're going into the zone of doing passion projects, doing stuff that's fun for them, that they could showcase like an art that we're talking about that expresses themselves, and it's getting to experience what the brewer wants you to, and he's painting you a picture and he's hoping that you get that picture when you're drinking it. And I think it translates so well. It is beautifully done, and I'm getting so many notes, and I guarantee the brewer who made this and everyone that was a part of it would enjoy hearing our comments about it and seeing us appreciate the style and really enjoying it for what it is.
Yeah, so the first wine beer hybrid I had was Dbro from Pure Project, spelled Tao. That came out in 2019, 2018, 2019, probably closer to 2019.
Yeah.
Wait, time out. I remember having this one with you.
Yeah, so you have multiple batches.
Yes.
Too, no?
We've had multiple batches of this.
So that first batch was very, like, it wasn't very strong, but I think it was like 9 to 10%, somewhere in that range. It had a pretty decent body on it, but it had, it was more sour than this. So the recent version of Dbro, I think of 2022 version, that one was lighter body, maybe the same kind of, well, a little more muted in the sourness, but like a little more like raising the sweetness of the grapes and stuff. This thing, I think, is exactly what that one I had pictured. Like, if you think wine beer hybrid, you think Vendage. Like, this is it. Like, you get a little bit of sourness, you get a little bit of sweetness, you get a little bit of dryness. That grape just comes through. Like, this is the one. Wine beer hybrid, this is the one. Now we're gonna see, I guess, what Solaris has to say about theirs, but not before you mentioned something. What do you think?
Well, yeah, he said 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5.
Well, I guess I'm 5 out of 5 too. So,
like I said, July should just not be 7. I think this should be 5 out of 5.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
this is it.
I think in the last 3 episodes, 4 episodes we did, it's been like 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, and I think that shows that a lot of breweries have stepped their game up. And like, I think this is my second or third time in a row giving Pure Project a 5.
Yeah. So they always hit it out of the park.
I mean, you can kind of say, I guess I'm biased because Pure Project is just really good.
Yeah.
But I mean, to me, like you said, I really appreciate the fact that they stepped out of their comfort zone to do this, and it's a passion of it. And like the people on Untappd, like, to be quite honest with you, a 3.9. I think they just need to. I just think they like the average. I think that's very below.
Yeah,
like
I
just think that they need to reevaluate that and understand that, hey, look,
like how special
this is,
and how hard it is to make and taste and get all these flavors. Back to Heron's point, Dow, the first one, 2019. The batch 2 was the 2020 season, and I think the batch 3 was 2021 to 2022. So that's where, because I looked it up and I was seeing on Untappd, and I remember we did a side-by-side at Dean Martin of batch 1 and 2, and they were completely different. That batch 2 was, oh my god, way less sour, so much more smooth, but they were both so good in their own way. We had it with Jake, because I remember we were talking with him, going back and forth with him, so that was a great time. But now, got to get into Solaris. So, Mr. Geyser over here, let's go into it.
We're in Yellowstone, okay?
Sour blonde aged.
I would like to say this is the first Geyser we had on the podcast, but definitely not.
No.
The first one ever was our episode of Blue, when we did the rice pudding.
Yeah,
with rice pudding, and you hear me yelling at James. Yeah.
And he stuck a thumb in it. This one I didn't open all the way. I cracked it, and it started just shooting out.
No, they'll see in the video. They'll see the sheer panic in your face of what happened.
Yeah. So going back, sour blonde, aged in Hawkwatch Winery Cabernet Sauvignon oak barrels with Grenache Blanc grapes, re-fermented in bottle. So that re-fermentation in the bottle kind of got a little too excited.
That thing was going nuts,
dude. Like Heron said, Yellowstone, bro.
Alright, let's get into it. 9.2% ABV. It's just put as a other sour category on Untappd, but we know it's that beer wine hybrid of a sour blonde.
Smells delicious.
Very funky on the nose for sure. The color, I love the color. It's kind of like reminds me of an apricot, like orange. I still have a little sediment in mine. The bottom, little floaties around there. Oh, yeah.
Man, these guys at Solaris, they got this shit dialed in. I mean, I'm going to go on record saying this. I know we're recording and you guys are listening to it. But Solaris, I don't think they're not that far away from Pure Project of being, like, in my opinion, the best brewery in California.
No, I don't blame you because
it is like the consistency of greatness that Pure Project has had over the years is what keeps them number one. But then having Solaris and having it as often as and keep coming and coming, they just keep closing that door, in my opinion.
Yeah, so it's tough because like when you rate or get into the category of best of the best, it's hard to just do one top because people do better styles. Monkish was on top for a long time because of their ability to not only do amazing doubles, triples. People sleep on their sours, their barrel-aged stuff across the board, stouts, barrel-aged saisons, funky stuff, red ales, feminist, all these things that they've done. Their seltzer is probably one of the best seltzers. I've talked about it time and time again. So it's hard to displace them. But Pure Project did a lot of great things for us during COVID. We had a lot of their great beers. They were pumping out great things. They've expanded their program. They're hungry for education, teaching people, brought on great cicerones, doing great things. Whereas, then there's on the other page, there's North Park out there killing it, banger after banger, collabing with so many people. Then there's Solaris out here collabing, now going to different festivals, doing collab after collab. One of their head brewers, Liam, has his own side project, Wolf King Brewing, that we featured on the podcast. He's collabing with Solaris, and then they're doing collabs, which then makes more collabs for Solaris. So it's almost like a personal favorite thing at that point, right? What styles do you like? do you want super funky? Do you want experimental? Are you going to support the breweries that go wild and try to chase these ambitions of theirs and are not afraid to be like, you know what? We know we make good beer, and people that will appreciate it will find us and buy this beer. So that's where we get into that whole complex area. And that's only like Southern California, because if you ask Jake, there's a couple other candidates that he would suggest. There Does Not Exist is his favorite brewery, and he's talked about it. And you don't want to count them out either if you're in California. Some people say Russian River because of how long they've existed, how long they could produce Pliny the Elder, Pliny the Younger, and at the quantities that they do and quality. So that's where I'd like to save that argument. It gets tough, but hey, when we're going multiple episodes into beers from Pure Project, North Park, got Solaris on here, you know they're great, and that's what we could get access to. So we want to talk about it and get people from like the East Coast, mid of the U.S. to be like, you know what, I'm gonna trade for them. I'm gonna seek these people out and get their beer, and that's what makes them even more popular. So going back into the beer, Heron, I want to hear your thoughts before I talk about it, because I know that you'll have some great analysis on this.
Yeah, so at the front, I mean, it really is that funky ale. If you had any kind of like farmhouse or something from Solaris, you know that's the flavor that's coming through at the front. And then towards the back, the middle and the back, you get like this like sweetness of this grape, and that dryness comes towards the end. Like once you're done sipping that thing, a few seconds later, you're kind of parched. You need a little bit of water, you know. So it's definitely more dry than the other one.
Yeah.
So unless you like that, like, you're gonna be scared of this one.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where I think it hits everything on the head there, where that initial taste is very funky, very appealing to the senses in terms of funk, and a lot going on. So you're very intrigued by it. You're paying a lot of attention. That middle to back end with the sweetness, great. It gives you a taste of like, that was a great break from the funky, kind of gives you some peace, but then that back end, that dryness, that wanting more, but in like that dry sense where you're parched, is where the endings of these two beers, wine mixes, are different. Not to say it's in a bad way, because I enjoy this, but this is where the other one, I could probably drink the whole bottle and just be cool. This one from Solaris, still could drink the whole bottle, but I would like to pair it with something else. I would be in, on the podcast, y'all know I love to have multiple beers, drinking, sipping on different things, but I would have to, this is like the category, need another beer with it. So that way I could go back and forth to appreciate it fully. I could not drink this whole bottle straight up in one sitting without another beer or another drink with me. So still, I would rate it pretty high. I think I'm on that range of 4.75. But I think the Pure Project edges it out for the simple fact that it's less dry and it's a more approachable in the sense of drinkability.
Yeah, so I mean, I wish we had more than half the bottle.
Yeah.
But those are things maybe out of the brewer's control, out of our control. So, I mean, not discounting the beer for that. I mean, I'm sure it might have been more carbonated.
Yeah.
If it was had as it was supposed to. I don't know. We had it, like, it was kind of a still beer when we had it now, which isn't bad. Like, I kind of like no carbonation in beer. I could do away with it. Carbonation in a lot of different beers.
Yeah.
Especially the wine hybrids. I mean, the Pure Project one wasn't that carbonated, which, like, these aren't, I don't think they should be that carbonated. So, I don't know. This is probably in that 4.7, 4.8 range.
Oh.
Like, it's great at what it does, but it is more acidic, and I don't like more acidity. I know we have to grade it based on what the style actually is, but it's hard to not like the acidity. The acidity is like hard to kind of warm up to.
And the more we drink these styles, I think it helps, but it is one of those to where the dryness plus the acidity, right? I think those two make it just a tad bit harder to enjoy.
For certain people.
Yeah.
Like, for me, I don't want super crazy acidity in there.
Yeah.
I love the dryness. I could have the driest beer ever, or even the driest wine ever. I'd be like, wow, this is kind of weird. My mouth feels like chalk, but I wouldn't hate it, you know?
Yeah.
Where some people would absolutely hate that, but love the acidity. I mean, the way most people get into beer or sours, you know?
Yes.
So, like, there's a certain thing that humans are attuned to, is that sourness. I don't really shy away from it, but the dryness, maybe they shy away from it a little more. But
So, you guys are talking about the acidity. I actually like the acidity on this.
Okay.
The apricot is definitely there. If you're not an apricot person, I would definitely kind of stay away from this. I just really enjoy this. The acidity, yeah, it's a little too strong for my liking, but I still like it. It still makes me want to go back for it, like how you were saying for the first one. Like, I guess I'm just kind of used to it because I have to drink sours with Gabby because that's all she will ever drink. So, like, I guess I kind of built up a tolerance to it. You guys, your rating is not too far off of mine. I would think mine's like a 4.89 to a 4.9.
Okay.
So the reason why I'm going off of that is I just think of everything that you guys hit on of the description of the bottle. I think it's there. I taste it. I enjoy it. It's something that I could definitely kind of like see myself drinking. I do agree with what you're saying, though, Joseph, of where you have to have a beer that you can kind of go back to on this. Because if you just drink this, I really do think the acidity will catch up with you. I do think you do have to have something in between, like during it.
Yeah.
But I just really enjoy it. I really love both beers. I mean, like, to be quite honest with you, Pure Project is going to trump this one.
Yeah.
But it's too, like we like to say, we're judging two really good beers that are really like top of the tops, right? And we're just trying to be nitpicky at the point of when we're describing these, and like they're both phenomenal beers. I just will give the edge to Pure Project because that Pure Project one literally knocked my socks off.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. At some point, we'll definitely have to try some side project because we went to the Silver Stamp the other day, shared that side project, that wild ale with cherries, and that has that funk to it, acidity, and they're known for that, and they're known for some crazy good wild ales and all their stuff. So now that we're doing a lot of funky stuff like this, that's kind of going to be the next step. We'll probably do a side project on here and talk about some of their stuff.
I think that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we'll go to that.
I'm in.
Hey,
I'm in.
it's a great episode, guys. Make sure to check out the YouTube, Instagram, all that good stuff, the website, brewswth.com. Give us feedback. Let us know what you want us to drink. Try some stuff, all that good stuff. So, until next time, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers. Later.